We all have them. Those insidious voices of self-doubt that whisper negativity and hold us back. They tell us we're not good enough, smart enough, or worthy of love and success. These voices erect invisible walls, limiting our potential and keeping us from experiencing life fully. We may find ourselves shying away from opportunities, fearing judgment, and doubting our abilities. This internal struggle is universal, a battle fought in the quiet corners of our minds. For years, I grappled with my own wall of insecurity. I was afraid to speak my truth, worried about what others would think. I sought external validation, craving approval to silence the doubts within. But in doing so, I was also shielding myself from connection, joy, and authentic living. The walls I had erected to safeguard my heart were, in reality, imprisoning it. The journey to unlock confidence begins with the courageous act of introspection. It's about turning inward and confronting the lies we tell ourselves. It's about acknowledging the negative self-talk and challenging its validity. This process can be uncomfortable, even painful, as we shine a light on the deepest parts of ourselves. We may uncover insecurities we've long buried or beliefs we've unknowingly clung to, but this is where the real growth begins. Recognizing this is a pivotal step toward liberation. Confronting our internal barriers is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process. It requires us to show up for ourselves day after day and challenge the negative self-talk that threatens to hold us captive. It means replacing those limiting beliefs with empowering truths. We must learn to speak to ourselves with kindness and compassion, just as we would a dear friend. One of the most powerful tools in this journey is self-awareness. By paying attention to our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors, we gain valuable insights into our inner workings. We begin to understand our triggers, our patterns of self-sabotage, and the ways in which we limit our own potential. This awareness is essential for growth, as it allows us to make conscious choices that align with our values and aspirations. True transformation occurs when we move beyond self-awareness and into action. It's about taking small, consistent steps outside our comfort zones, challenging our fears, and embracing new experiences. Each time we choose courage over comfort, we chip away at the wall of self-doubt, creating space for confidence to blossom. We must remember that setbacks are not defeats, but rather opportunities for learning and growth. For many years, I believed that vulnerability was a sign of weakness, something to be avoided at all costs. I thought that by shielding myself from potential hurt, I was protecting myself. But in reality, I was closing myself off from the very experiences that make life worth living. It was only when I began to embrace vulnerability, to show up authentically in my relationships and in my work, that I truly began to experience the fullness of life. Vulnerability is not about oversharing or seeking pity. It's about allowing ourselves to be seen, truly seen, for who we are. It's about having the courage to speak our truth, even when our voice shakes. It's about letting go of the need for perfection and embracing the beauty of imperfection. When we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, we open ourselves up to deeper connections, greater empathy, and a more meaningful existence. One of the most transformative aspects of vulnerability is its power to dismantle the walls we build around our hearts. When we allow ourselves to be seen in our entirety, flaws and all, we give others permission to do the same. This creates a space for genuine connection where we can be our authentic selves without fear of judgment. When we choose vulnerability, we choose love, connection, and wholehearted living. The journey of personal growth is not meant to be traveled alone. As humans, we are wired for connection, and it is through our relationships with others that we learn, grow, and evolve. When we surround ourselves with supportive, compassionate individuals, we create a safety net that allows us to take risks, embrace vulnerability, and step into our full potential. Forming genuine connections requires us to show up authentically, to let go of pretense and allow ourselves to be seen for who we truly are. It means being present in our interactions, listening with empathy, and offering support without judgment. These connections cannot be forced or manufactured. They blossom organically in an environment of mutual trust, respect, and vulnerability. In a world that often feels increasingly isolating, it is more important than ever to cultivate meaningful connections. This means looking beyond the superficial and seeking out relationships that nourish our souls. When we create a network of supportive relationships, we build a foundation of resilience that allows us to weather life's inevitable storms. These connections remind us of our inherent worthiness and empower us to keep moving forward even when faced with adversity.